Hey everybody, Mike Naso here from podweather.com and Internet Partnership Radio with an update on the tropics. And boy, I gotta tell you, for mid-July, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We still have Bertha, the longest-lived July cyclone on record up here. It's a tropical storm weakened, and it's drifting southeast. It's expected to kind of loop out here off the screen out to sea over the next several days. In the central Atlantic, we have a system that was very close to becoming a depression. Recon's been out there, still's out there. Could become a depression at any time, but it's not looking all that great, and it's getting impacted by shear. In the extreme southwest Caribbean, this area of low pressure has spun up and is looking favorable for development, but it's going to be moving into land, so if it does develop, it'd have to do it quickly. Over Florida, we have low pressure, but that's also moving into land, even though that seemed to have had a favorable spin to it. We'll wait and see what happens with that. And yet again, another wave exiting off Africa, as we're still about 2 months away from the peak of the hurricane season, so we've got a lot of activity to go. But let's start with Bertha, of course, as we have for the last several weeks. As of 5 p.m., it's at 36.1 north, 60.5 west. Winds were 70 miles an hour. Gusting to 85, is moving southeast, not even really moving, drifting southeast at 995 millibars. It's expected to kind of pool eastward and then out to the northeast, out to sea. We're not going to have to deal with it anymore after that, and I hope everybody can join me in saying, good for that, we are tired of Bertha. You can see the general Atlantic up here, Bertha, having that eastward drift now as the sun starts to set, and we won't have to deal with it much longer. Now, as you look towards the Caribbean Sea, you see two spins. One spin is in here in the western Caribbean, and it's starting to look a little interesting. And then the other spin is off to the east, entering the Windward Islands now, and this one looks more ominous. And let's talk about this one. This is Invest 94L, and you can see the latest model guidance has the Invest initialized just near the Windward Islands and moves it generally west or west-northwest up towards Central America or the Yucatan, although we do have the UK Met in here taking the system up towards Hispaniola. Now, the system has been investigated by the Air Force in the last couple of hours, but they have not really been able to close off at least a well-defined center. There could be a case made to say this is a depression, but it's looking very ill-defined. And as the visible satellite goes down, you can see already some of the squalls beginning to move through the Windward Islands. You can see it even better on the infrared. Now, the reason why this is so ill-defined is, see right here, this wind shear moving straight down on top of it. This is very, very unfavorable, and you can just see how it's getting shredded to pieces. So any chance of something trying to form a center in here is getting really inhibited by the wind shear, and that's why it's looking so ragged at this point in time. And if we actually look beyond that, you can see that we have a very favorable anticyclone, high pressure, the clockwise flow aloft over our system in the southwest Caribbean, and that's only helping to induce more shear on our Invest in the eastern Caribbean. You can see that here over Hispaniola, this little pocket of shear pushing straight down on our system. Now, what's generally expected to happen is this system in the southwest Caribbean, regardless of development, is expected to move generally towards the west or west-northwest, and that might let up on the shear as our system here comes into the Caribbean a little bit, but again, it's got a tough environment ahead for it, and you can see that even better on the wind shear charts. Again, look at in our system down here in the southwest Caribbean, this very favorable anticyclone right over the top of it. The waters are very, very hot down there. If this system stalls out and starts to develop, it's got a medium risk right now. If it does develop, this could actually become something before this one does. But right now, it's more likely that this is going to kind of flare up, flare down, move into land, and maybe do something in either the eastern Pacific, or if it makes it up towards the Bay of Campeche, we'd always have to watch it. But again, look at the flow around that. Very good ventilation, but not good for our system coming in from the east, and that has high shear. You can see that even better here. The higher shear tendencies right up here, right over the top of our system, while the one down here has a good environment. Now, in the Gulf of Mexico, we have lower shear in response to our system near Florida that we're going to talk about. And you can see that's not all that well organized because it's interacting with land, but there is an area of low pressure here and we're going to have to keep an eye on it. There's also one up here off the East Coast, and whenever we get these tail ends, you always got to watch them. Now, the good news for people who are concerned about that drought up in North Florida, and we had the wildfires a few months back, there's some good rain rates with this. Not too heavy, but at least some precip, and this could all move up in this general direction over the next several days with this low pressure. Now, further in the central Atlantic, we have this big wave here, but it's all dry. There's nothing with it. And moving off Africa, we have a well-defined tropical wave, and we're going to have to watch this one. Again, the GFS model, the long-range models, the Euro, showing various tropical cyclones over the next week or two. We're going to have to keep an eye out for those, and by the time that comes, we're already in August, and then comes the real stuff. So I think we're pretty much set for pretty much everyday activity watch until the peak of the hurricane season. Now, Hurricane Aleta in the eastern Pacific as of 5 p.m. It was at 17.0 north, 117.8 west. Winds were up to 105 miles an hour, gusting to 125, so it's a powerful Category 2 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson scale. It's moving straight west at 13. 970 millibars is expected to weaken and continue on the west course it's been on, but you can definitely see that it's looking pretty good out there. I gotta say, a very impressive looking hurricane, tight little thing, and it continues on off towards the west. But that's not the only game in town. We now have Tropical Storm Fausto out there. As of 5 p.m., it was at 11.3 north, 99.7 west. Winds were 40, gusting to 50. It's moving west at 16, but on west-northwest tracks expected 1,004 millibars. It could become a hurricane. It's expected to. And the Hurricane Center is guessing about 75 miles an hour. Some of the models are showing a hurricane up towards 80, 90, 100 miles an hour, almost Cat 2 at times. And we'll have to see. You can see it's got some easterly shear it's still contending with, but it does have that convection right over the top of the center and decent banding features, enough to keep it moving in this direction as a formidable tropical storm or hurricane the next several days. But you can see it should stay well south of the Mexican coast here. And again, when we look at both of these systems, you can see it's keeping not only the Atlantic active, but the Eastern Pacific as well, with a very powerful hurricane, 105 miles an hour, and a developing tropical cyclone storm down here with Fausto. Finally, out in the Westpac, that's active too. We have Tropical Storm Kalmegi. It was at 20.3 north, 123.5 east. Winds were 65, gusting to 80. It's forecast to become a Cat 1 typhoon. It continues this north-northwest movement at 10. It could head up towards, say, Korea, Japan the next several days. And you can see on satellite, this is an impressive bursting pattern we're seeing right over the center. And if we look at that from afar, you can even see better looking, good formation, good convection, moving generally up in the northwesterly direction the next few days. Keep an eye on that. I'm Mike Naso from podweather.com. Stay tuned. We'll have more later.